Hey there guys, this is Malorian, and this will be 3 War Machine battle reports at 50 points. The first one here will be my Kane 2 jam list. So this is one where I've tried a lot of different Kane 2 builds, and this one is all about taking the jam to you, but with guns. You know, you got your gun mages that get gunfighter underneath Kane 2, and so this is just rushing you with all these fast, high defense models, and I did this once before, but I've made a few little changes, mainly with solos, and we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, the other side here, not a good pick, but it's not really that big of a deal, because I'm going to be up against Lilith 2. Now, Lilith 2 is going to be running some Ravagors and so forth, but the biggest thing I want to say about this first game is there is a lot of proxies. Now, I know for battle reports, proxies aren't the best thing, but in-game, proxies can really help, because this opponent here, he's actually fairly new, and he's trying to figure out where he wants to go with Legion. He, picked up the battle box, a couple of extra pieces, but he doesn't know, does he want to go with this or that or this? So he's trying out now a Lilith 2 tier 4 list. So to go over my full list, is I'm running Kane 2 with the Minuteman, Squire, 2 units of Rangers, 2 units of the Press Gangers. I also have Epic Iris. I have the Gun Mage Solo, 2 units of Gun Mages. I got Hawk there, Alexia and Arisen, Rupert, and I believe that's everything. On his side there, like I said, is tier 4. He is going to be getting 3 Ravagors. He is also going to have, and that's going to be like the 3 heavies. He's going to have 2 units of Striders, both with UA. So that's what, the Mechanothralls and stuff are. He's also going to have Anissa Rival, when that's what Cray is. And he's also going to have 3 Deathstalkers, which is going to be, basically, guys, it won't really matter. What the mission is here is you get 1 for dominating the close flag, 1 for controlling the far flag, and 2 for dominating. I believe that this one is also kill box as well. And you know what, guys? The reason why this one won't matter is because I'm just going to rush up there and either jam and win on scenario, or I'm going to go for the assassination. It's kind of games like this are kind of like a rough intro, because clearly his list is not set up for that, but it's important for new players to understand that you can't just shoot, that scenario and board presence is also very important. So I'm just planning to do that. So he won first turn, and he just rushes on up. I go up. Now, he had Shadow Pack up, and that's not going to be a big deal because I'm going to have True Shot on now. I put Tough onto the Risen. I have Blur up onto the painted unit of Press Gangers, and already my Rangers are starting to tie up his Striders. On his turn, he does a bit of shooting. He got a little bit of warning that Alexia is a big target, so he killed a lot of Risen, also did a lot of damage to Alexia. She is on fire. The initial prey was on to Epic Iris, but the Deathstalkers were able to kill her, so now the prey is also on to Alexia, so she is in a lot of trouble. Otherwise, he tries to do what he can, but as you can see there, a lot of his shots go more into the middle of my lines, and he's able to kill a few of my guys, but now I'm in a good spot where I can just swarm him and get over that flag. So that's what I really do. I'm just digging in deeper. Probably the biggest move that I actually go for actually killing stuff is I put 1 in the Minuteman so it can move up and hop and do this little flak field and kill a whole bunch of those Striders. And otherwise, you can see that I'm not even making attacks. I'm just running up there, surrounding things. I mean, I'm killing a few Striders to get them out of the way, but as far as the beasts go, I'm just surrounding them. I'm making a wall there with the 2nd unit of the Gun Mages, and with Kane 2, I'm on the flag to dominate for 1. Now, I'd like to score on the other flag as well, but the one Ravagore is over there and it's actually contesting. I could use my gun mages to push him away, but that wall there is stopping that. But either way, it's currently 1-0, and clearly I can really threaten his caster. In fact, when we talked about it and he saw that true shot, he dropped Shadow Pack, and I have Blur on now. So on his turn, he does his best to try and free up his beast, but it's a lot of work. He does kill a good number of guys. I mean, Lilith kills 6 models all by herself. But in the end, it's just really not enough. I mean, the painted gun mages got their butts kicked and the press gangers. But actually, one of the things that really helps him is that when I want to go for this assassination, he had a couple of deviations that he didn't want. And then, no, those Scathers are going to make clouds in areas I don't want them. I believe they're clouds anyway. So I'm going to have to move the Ravagore, that's actually the Carnivean, at least 1 inch. And then I can get a little line in through there. So that's all I do. Gun mages come over. They push over the Carnivean, Ravagore, all I need. I come over here, I feet, and pew, 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 pew. Down Lilith goes. So either way, you kind of saw about how the game can kind of work with the scenario in the jam. We talked about, and I said that if you want a chance in a game like this, you just need to go for assassination. You know, Lilith 2 lists like this just cannot deal with this long-term jam scenario type thing. And really, I mean, that's probably why you probably don't want to go with the tier. Or if you do, those Striders need to be up in the front to really just contest things and keep the game going. But either way, there's 1 game down. So in this second game here, I'm trying something crazy with my siege. So I'm starting to experiment with him now too. And really what I wanted to try originally was to go for the double stormwall. And I thought about how I could go and do my force hammer and knock things down and go for assassination. And I figured, well, if I'm going to do that, why don't I try out the galleon as well? I've never actually used Gaston, so let's do that. Now, I know a big thing that I was wondering which way to go is if I should go for the Squire, which will let me have that extra focus and give me extra threat from my feet, or I could go with Silas, who gives me an upkeep, and then I get longer range for the Force Hammer. So, obviously, as you can see here, I went with Silas, and we'll see if it works out. Over on the other side, I'm going to be up against Sorsha. And normally when I heard Sorsha, I was like, oh boy, let's see what all these guns have. But he doesn't have that. This is going to be more of a melee Sorsha. So the game here now is not kill box. You can dominate the flag on the left for 1, control the zone for 1, dominate for 2, destroy the enemy objective for 1, and the enemy objective, I can't remember what it has. But really what my list is I'm running Siege with a Stormwall and Silas. There's then Gaston that is running the Galleon. I have Reinhold, I have Black 13th, and I have the Gun Mages with UA. On his side there, he is going to be having Sorsha running a Kodiak and a Destroyer. There'll be a unit of the Demo Corps, a unit of the Mana Wars. There's going to be the Pikemen with UA, and then there's going to be 2 Manhunters and a Dragoon. Now, there's a lot of armor here, and normally, like if this is my other siege list, this would be exactly what my regular siege list is built for. So I'd really like to go for assassination, just because this is not really what I'm supposed to be seeing. However, I don't think I'm going to get a chance, because that wall he has on his side there, Sorsha can stay behind, she'll have massive defense. Because of the wall, I can't force hammer anything to her, because I'll just stop at the wall. So I'm going to have to kind of see how this goes, but I think it's going to be a slow, long attrition, where I'm going to need to pick off what I can, and then when he eventually gets in there, pop feet and try and kill what I can. But already, I mean, I deployed first to go first. Normally, I'd want the Stormwall opposite of the Pikemen, just so I can just stop them with the cover fire, but that's not how this worked. So, yeah, he deployed correctly, and we'll see how this goes. So I get first turn, I'm really putting up a Foxhole. Now remember, Foxhole is an upkeep, so that's why it's up there where I'm not, because I'm just going to upkeep it for the rest of the game, so I make sure to put it where I want it to be. Otherwise, I just allocate 1 to each Colossal, they run, and I'm done. On his turn, a little bit of a fuzzy thing on his side, but he is going to be going up. He has his Fog of War going, and you can see his Dragoon is doing a flanking maneuver on the left. Now, if you ever go double Stormwall, if Junior ever dies, your Warcaster can always go and restart the Colossal for you. Now, in this one here, if Gaston dies, Galleon is done. So, I believe that's what he's going after here. I could go over. I am in range where I could pull in with my old trident and kill the Dragoon, but then I'd be completely away from my force, and my force is small as it is. He is being very, very cautious. Both units that can shield wall just shield wall, and I think it's because he knows that he can really rely on his armor and kind of force and tank his way forward. So on my turn, I try and be a little bit defensive as well. I really definitely need more 4-inch rings, so I'll have to explain what's going on here. But, you know, I upkeep the Foxhole. I put a couple there on the Stormwall. He goes into the zone, does a couple of shots into the Kodiak, doing like no damage. Puts up some cover fires, drops a pod. Ryan shoots the 1, and that's going to be making a little Mage Storm there. I actually failed to kill the pod. Now that's a 5-inch ring. That should be a 4-inch ring. Basically, I go up there with, what's his name, with the Siege, and he shoots up just some rifts. And so, again, those are supposed to be 4 inches. So one is a 4-inch rift that you can see there. The other one's a 5-inch ring that should be a 4. But otherwise, what happens is the Galleon shoots at the Manhunters, hoping to kill them with splash damage or blast damage, and I just don't do it. Their armor is high enough that when I boost, when I do hit them, I do like 1 point of damage. So I have a lot out there to slow him down, but I really accomplished nothing this turn. So on his turn, again, because of all the stuff going forward and so forth, he is just slowly going forward, just stepping up, saying shield wall, and I'm just looking at this going, wow, this battle of attrition is not going my way. I mean, I know I can pop feet, kill the demo core and so forth, but I do not want those heavies getting to me. I'm going to have some zone presence. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. And then he starts flanking hard on the left. That Dragoon goes around, the Manhunters are there, and now Gaston is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. So I'm trying to wonder what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to like collapse to the right flank, and then he makes what I believe was the big mistake of the game. What he does is take Sorsha out from the wall and puts it behind the Destroyer. Now, by the way, Destroyer shot my Stormwall, does some good damage, blah, blah, blah. But now because of that, Siege can go up there, do the Force Hammer to the Destroyer, and knock Sorsha down. Now, it's going to be tight, but I believe because of the +2 range, because of Silas, I'm going to be just in. So that's what I'm going to go for. The attrition war does not look well, and I think I have a good shot here at assassination. And so that's what I do. I work my way around the objective. I was actually wondering, I put 3 on the Galleon, just in case I wanted to destroy the objective and then kind of charge through it. But in the end, I decided I had enough range. So I just walk up, I Force Hammer with Arcane Secrets, I slam the Destroyer into Sorsha, knock them both down, do some damage, and then it's a simple matter of just walking up with the Stormwall and just shoot her down. So good to see that what I designed this list to do, it was able to pull off. And yeah, on to game 3 now. Alright, so game 3, we're up against Cray now. This is a list that my buddy is trying out, and so I really asked, like, do you want to try it against the Siege list or the Kane list? And we really figured that if it was the Kane list, I mean, Cray is all about the speed, right? Using those long threat ranges, and that's all pointless up against my jam list. So what we decided to do is do it up against Siege. There will be one proxy because Dynamo, you know, he gets it for Christmas, so the Centurion here will be Dynamo. But yeah, it'll be interesting what he does here with Cray. Alright, so the scenario here is kill box. It's first to 5. 1 for controlling the zone, 2 for dominating. Also 1 for destroying the enemy objective. It gives you fuel, so you can charge or run for free if you're within 4 inches of it. It also has priority, so you can't dominate if you're within control range. But honestly, we both didn't think this will be one that comes down to scenario. Now, you already know my siege list. On his side there, he is running Cray, who is running Dynamo, Old Rowdy, and a Hammersmith. There's also the Sword Knights going on there. There is the Gun Mages with UA, and they are running 2 Hunters. So he's going to be able to do some okay damage. I mean, between the Hunters and Dynamo, he can do some good damage at range. And of course, he can rush those heavies into me fast. Now, he only has 3 heavies to my 2 Colossals. And, you know, especially with the Galleon where I can pull things in, I might be able to draw one out. But again, he has some really extremely long threat ranges. He'll have to kind of course, watch it the other way, you know, that I don't kill Cray. But, you know, he's steady. He can stay in pretty safe spots. So it should be interesting how this game actually plays out. So I get first turn and same type of thing. I put up a foxhole where I think I'll want it for the whole game. Really just charge into it after I cast it. Otherwise, I put 1 in each on the Colossals. They run up. And I believe I made a mistake here in deployment. Because of that pool of water on the right, I believe that I should have put the Gun Mages on the left and a Black 13th on the right. But meh, this is the way it's set up. So on his turn, he is going to be putting full tilt onto the Hammersmith. He is going to be rushing up here to where you see. And really looking at this, I mean, he takes some shots at my Stormwall, gets some plinking damage on there. I mean, his dice weren't the best. He went for Crit Brutals and didn't really get it. But anyway, the main thing I see here is that I have 3 heavies facing me. And if I don't deal with them, any one of these 3 can charge me next turn. Between, hey, full tilt go, he's going to be in my face. Now, luckily, I think I see a janky situation. The way I see this is that Siege can go up. I can force hammer Dynamo into the water and, you know, put out his boiler. Oh, sorry. Dynamo is on Jake's. So that's why he's farther up, is because he got energizered up. But anyway, I plan to go up, force hammer Dynamo into the water, boom. That's 1 heavy I don't need to worry about. Gun Mages are actually going to be doing a jam function. They're going to go up there, and after I shoot Rowdy a bit, lock him down. And then I'm going to drag in the Hammersmith with the Galleon and kill him or cripple him. And I believe once I do that, I'm going to be sitting pretty. So I start doing that, you know, I go up with Siege, do my cool stuff, pop feet, and then it's time for me to deal with this Hammersmith, and I missed the boosted grapple hook thing. So that's really bad. I did take out his Cortex and all these nice things, but this Hammersmith is going to live, which is, hey, sometimes you can't get boosted 5s, or whatever it was I needed. So overall, you can see here the plan mainly worked out. I went up, I feeded, I blasted Dynamo into the water, so his boiler engine thing is out. I also, with the feet, was able to do a big damage shot to Rowdy. Came up there with the Gun Mages, were able to do a lot of damage to the Black Hunter. I was able to take out its gun. You can see that I was up there as well with the Stormwall. It's really just kind of blocking some line of sight, putting up the cover fire, keeping those Gun Mages off me. Of course, the other Gun Mages ran up just to really block things. I mean, first of all, they're up there just engaging, but I'm also trying to take up the real estate between them and Siege as well, and I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I would have felt better if the Hammersmith was destroyed, but I'm in a pretty good spot here. So on his turn, he's trying to think about some janky things he can do about like a trample with the speed bonus all the way to Siege, but it just doesn't really seem to work out with the focus he has. So instead, he goes for more of an attrition approach. The gun mages on the left, killing off Ryan and Lynch, so that really hurts the 13th. They're going to pass their command test. Otherwise, between Rowdy and the Sword Knights, they do a lot of work and kill a lot of my gun mages. They kill 5 of my gun mages, and they pass their command test. Then on the right side, really he decides not to charge with the Hammersmith. He runs instead just to get to a more threatening position. And because of that weird arm, we're putting that horse there instead. But otherwise, he has 2 Sword Knights that's in my way there. And again, I'm not feeling too bad about this. On my turn now, I believe I could take out 2 heavies. So what I'm going to do is this. The idea is that the galleon is going to drag in Rowdy and kill him, and then the stormwall is going to go over and kill the Hammersmith. And again, once I get to that point, I'm sitting pretty, and it'll be no worries. So that's really what I do. I drag in Rowdy, destroy him, don't quite destroy the Hammersmith. Siege has to go back and make room for the big guy, so then the Stormwall walks over and destroys him. So both those jacks are wrecked. We'll turn them to wreck markers later, but I get a couple other shots into his jacks there. I'm not able, sorry, his hunters, not able to really do anything very serious. Gun mages just kind of getting in his face. But yeah, he has really no heavies right now, and he's going to have to try and figure out some way to come back, because he's currently at no heavies against 2 colossals. So on his turn, Jakes makes the dash. She probably should have done this last turn, but really comes over here, and she's going to be restarting Dynamo. So that's good and all, but Dynamo can't activate this turn. So I'm just going to prioritize him, shoot him, destroy some systems, and now it'll be too late for Dynamo anyway. So otherwise, he is really just cleaning up the gun mages. I have no gun mages, no Black 13th. They're all dead. A little bit more damage onto the storm wall, but I mean, no systems out. And yeah, now on my turn, it's really down to cleanup. You can see there that Cray is really switching over to the left. I'm wondering if he's trying to go for an assassination type thing, but really I believe that it's just going to be long shots at this point. So that's really what I do. Now you can see where we are changing things to wreck markers. I destroy Dynamo. I destroy the Hunter that was put in my face. So now the only jack he has that's not destroyed is 1 Hunter, which has already taken some damage. I'm safe back in my foxhole. I killed off some of the Sword Knights. I killed off 3 of the Gun Mages, and they failed their command test. Gaston was wondering if he should be brave and try and kill a Sword Knight or run away. He decided to run away, and yeah, again, like his situation is getting worse and worse. So on his turn, Cray really just walks up, hopes that he can kill me with 2 shots. He knows it's a really long shot, but it's all he has. He gives it a try, it fails, and he throws in the white, or he waves the white flag. So there you go, there's the game. I believe that Cray could have had a better shot at this if he would have stayed further back, actually. You know, with that extreme threat range, he probably did not need to get everything into my face. You also want to watch out. You can't be force hammered into water like that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe I did have the advantage in this. You know, clearly this is a better matchup for Cray than my Swarm. But now looking at it as well, I don't know. Maybe I do have the advantage here just because I can force hammer and push you back. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.